So brave marketing here is it's all about how to attract ideal clients. It's not about chasing clients. I think if there is one marketing message for my program, it's stop chasing clients, start attracting them. Everyone is a magnet. Discover what kind of magnet you are. Okay, it's not about being somebody else, so it's not about whatever. And the reason sometimes, like Eva was saying, it's okay to have small groups. You don't always have to have big groups. And you know what? Because if I if I said you have to have big groups, it's not it's a goal that stresses you out anyway. So why have it? It's not like just because you have that big goal you're going to achieve it. you know you've got to have for some of us we will achieve it, but for some of us we just need that next step. What's the very next step goal that I need? What's the very next step? And don't worry, if you are in a growth mindset, you'll want more anyway, so I don't have to worry about you being less ambitious. um, so that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how we string all these things together. I am going to describe the course a little bit, or some of the next steps that you can do at the end of the webinar, but let's get some content going. So again, some of you, I'm glad you've started on this why, and it's very interesting to listen to all of you saying you've just been working so deeply on your why, and that's kind of occupied everything else. Some of you did mention a bit about marketing, but not much. It was just about why, and that's just been the interesting thing. And I love that you're getting curious about that. Okay, because as one of my clients said, he said that he loved the program because it started with him, it started with you. And when that foundation is discovered, the rest of the marketing, how to do that better, because the real foundation of that marketing is you. And that's why I focus on self-employed service professionals. I love all those people selling products, but I have to say, selling your own skills and time is a whole different game. Okay, so so hopefully with this why concept, and also later with the one-liner that you'll be doing, it will help you create a marketing approach that fits you. So all the other marketing ideas that don't fit you, you can park that right now. I'm giving you permission to just park that for now, because it won't work anyway. Or you'll do it for 2 weeks and then you'll find another excuse why it's hard. Okay, so let's just park it. And in reality, you don't really need that many marketing strategies to be successful. When we talk about marketing later in the slide, I want you to go deep. I don't want you to go wide. I want you to go deep, because the depth is what gets you results. So, and also this whole limiting belief of marketing is bad, marketing is pushy. I hope you're starting to release that, because the proper marketing is working on yourself and becoming that go-to person for your field of expertise, and therefore you become a magnet. Bad marketing is all this pushy stuff. Okay, and as Seth Godin said in his book, This is Marketing, it's a very basic intro book to marketing. He said, don't use your customers to solve your business problem. Oh, I don't have enough profits, I need more customers because they give me revenue. That's using your customers to solve your business problem. Instead, discover what is the problem you solve through your business. So use your business to solve your customer's problem. That whole concept resonated with me, because every successful business that we know solves a problem. Okay, if it doesn't solve a problem, it doesn't sell. Okay, it's not marketable. So think about it. EasyJet solves the problem of expensive flights. That's why a lot of people buy into it. Deliveroo is coming up to market. Share price is quite good, even at the very rock bottom of their expectation. But Deliveroo solved the problem when we faced in the last year or so, that we needed food to be delivered and we needed stuff to be delivered, and they were a delivery company. For that matter, a lot of delivery companies did very well last year because they solved the problem. Okay, so I want you to think about making your business into a solution to something. Okay, so what problem are you solving? If you go on a discovery call with me, or when let's say you book a power hour and then you have me hash something out about your business, my first question is, what problem do you solve? And if you can't answer that in a very clear way, then you need to work on you need to work on that. Okay. And that's why your digital marketing needs to come after this program. After you've done the Brave marketing in full, then you're ready to do digital marketing, doing your website, what to post on social media, blah, blah, blah. And getting that result comes with the clarity, because digital marketing or any kind of marketing basically just amplifies your message. If your message is not clear, then whatever is amplified is vague as well. Okay. And this is why it doesn't work. This is, all the last 14 years that I've been in business, I've just been, I don't know who taught it to me, because I think I've just been in sales and marketing for too long. After you don't know who else influences you. But I remember I was selling chemical products, pest control, recruitment services. I was selling credit cards, everything about sales. Whenever I got the clients, I realized that it was because I solved the problem for them. It was because, and I was always the go-to person when they needed help. Yeah, I don't care what. I remember a competitor wanted to fish me out of my corporate and gave me a, huge salary. And then I asked one of my loyal customers, I said, would you keep using my products if I moved to a different company? Because that company did not make, the same quality product. And he said, he was a general manager of one of the top hotels in Singapore. He said, I don't care what product you sell. I will follow you, because I know whatever problem I have, I can always go to you, and you can always solve it for me. That conversation stuck with me. He didn't care what the product was. I'll find a way to solve it. He trusts me as a person. That's what I want. And that's the brand that I've always built. A client who used to be a director of F&B in the Four Seasons, he always said, your first name is whatever the brand of the company. I was working for a company called Ecolab at the time. Your first name is Ecolab, your second name is Cynthia. You are so a good brand ambassador of the whole concept of service. And I met him when he was very angry with us. That was my first job as a corporate sales. He to turn him around from hating us to loving us. Okay. And we still keep in touch till now. It's been great. So all these opportunities I get, this is me speaking in front of 1,000 people in a women's conference in Indonesia. One of the last years that I was in Indonesia, I've been doing a lot of these kinds of things as well. Opportunities come when you know what you stand for, and don't be surprised that people will look for you, because you've positioned yourself as an expert of something. Right. So again, over the last 1 year, I've been working with a lot of great people in the UK, Australia, all over the world, Indonesia. And this is what I want you to get out of, if you continue on your Brave marketing, get more confident. The key to your success is confidence. Confidence over skills, in my opinion. You can feed yourself all the skills you want, but if you don't have confidence in your business and in yourself, forget it. So confidence is what I want you, when you're going through all these exercises, or if eventually you go into a digital course, I want you to feel, do I feel more confident in myself now? And I love your comments that says, I feel like I'm okay. Oh, I feel like I can focus on the marketing strategies that I want. Great. Because that's the start of your confidence. Grab your essence, put your essence into your marketing. So yeah, you're a graphic designer. This comment came from one of my graphic designer friends, clients. And then said, yeah, I'm a graphic designer, but what kind of a graphic designer? Yeah, I'm a therapist, but what kind of a therapist? What makes me different? I'm a teacher, but how am I different than other teachers? I'm a social media expert, but how do I do it differently? What is the purpose that I'm built that is behind my service? Make sure your message reflects your authentic self. This is from a confidence coach that I work with. But honestly, this applied to me because I had put on. So here's the thing, for some of you who are in transition, let's say some of you said, I went from corporate. In the corporate job, you had this one identity. And then let's say now you shift to a different role. Make sure you know who you are in this role. For me, I am still an owner of a business coaching company in Indonesia. We go under the franchise of Action Coach. Everything is business coaching, business coaching, business coaching. My real self was actually a very big combination of psychology and then business. I prefer talking and digging deep into the person, but because I also have business acumen, I link it to the business. But for the most part, a lot of the business coaching, the years and years that we keep our clients, was done by my colleagues, my partners. To call myself a business coach, I didn't feel that way, but I've been living with that for 12 years before I moved to the UK. When I first marketed the Brave Zone, it was all about blah, 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 leadership coaching, executive coaching, business coaching. It was so unclear. I had to get myself a brand consultant, and dig down with me, because my message is no longer reflecting my authentic self. One of my earlier clients said, Sin, when I look at this brochure, back then when we were still allowed to touch brochures, and then I meet you and we actually did work together, you are two different things. It was her, it was my client that told me that my message was not reflecting my authentic self as well. Early days. So I know how you feel. I know it can be quite difficult when you're in transition. But yeah, let's get your real self in there. The limiting beliefs part, some of you have mentioned that. That's great. Make sure whatever you go through, is it me? It's okay to do authentic marketing. Actually, people want to see your authenticity, is there inconsistencies in that what you say? Some of you said, oh, I finally know what I do. It's like sometimes what you're saying in your LinkedIn and what you actually do are inconsistent. That's why I scratch my head and I say, I don't get it, and that could be like the best question you could ever answer for yourself. And then all of you can, so my hope is that you will bring out your potential. This is an HR consultant who now says, I know now why I do what I do, who I want to work with, and how to introduce your business. So you have this opportunity every single week that you go to some kind of networking event. I want you, after you create this for yourself, or if you go through the Brave Marketing course, then just test it out in as many marketing networking events possible, just grab that chance, just come, just so you can introduce yourself and then see the reactions of people. Right. So I hope that the 5 days you've invested with your time has been worth the investment. Again, the whole concept of this, today we'll be talking about how to attract them, and let's string all these 9 steps together. Okay. The essence of Brave Marketing is master yourself, empathize with your clients, and do marketing your way. Basically, those are the only 3 things. We've gone through some of these tools, but I want to show you how it all ties in. When you talk about master yourself, we did talk a lot about this whole shift. I am enough versus I have to keep improving. I have to keep learning. I got to get out of my comfort zone. I got to push myself. Some of you are quite young, like, yeah, go ahead, push yourself. Some of us past 40, 50 years old are like, damn it, really? Can I stop pushing myself? How many of you agree? You say, yeah. Yeah, exactly, right? Not that, but you all have a growth mindset, or else you wouldn't be here, right? So this is not about not having a growth mindset. This is about self-acceptance. Okay, this is about self-acceptance. And because you have self-acceptance, then you start to grow self-confidence. Okay, again, depending on your background, I came from a fix-it background with the business turnarounds and all that business improvement background that I used to do in corporate and in business coaching. So my head was always, what's wrong? What's wrong? Fix it. And now I find a lot more fulfillment, and my clients are getting a lot more results by saying, what's right? Amplify it. It's not about what's wrong, fix it, but it's what's right, amplify it. Focus on it. Fewer, bigger, better. Fewer strategies with a bigger impact, because that's what you are good at, then you can make bigger impact. So people say, I do well on video. Well, that's because I enjoy it. That's because I'm good at it. So when people see my video, it's not hard for them to say, I want to follow her. I just got a LinkedIn connection from actually quite someone who works for quite a large organization that I feel I could partner with. And I said, by the way, the typical, I want to play hard to get. By the way, why do you want to connect with me on LinkedIn? Because I just took a LinkedIn workshop and they said, ask that question, because you don't want just random connections. So I don't link up with anyone who I don't know anymore. And then he said it was because he saw one video. So it's very easy for me to attract people through video. Great. So amplify that, make more of that. Articles no longer work for me as it used to. So I stopped doing that too much. Ati, go ahead.
Sorry, because I am here where the slide is. Because when I was in Indonesia, I was an advertising person. I was very comfortable with what I am, and that was my brand was. That was how people know me as. As I moved to this country, I could not go into advertising first because of my family, of the working hours, and so I decided not to do advertising, but to do a 9 to 5 job. And I got this teaching Indonesian to diplomats, which I never done before. But as I started it, it becomes my job. So, like you said, stop learning, but I am in this new job, which is new, which is I'm learning and I'm feeling good at, but still my heart is still in advertising. So if so now I still could not focus between whether I still do my old job or grow my new job here in this country where I'm more can earn more money.
Okay, that's your choice though. To go into a new industry is your choice. I'll take, for example, Bryony is a process engineer. She used to work for oil companies. She doesn't do that anymore, but she uses the transferable skill of an engineer to do what she does for people like me, which is get us the right process to launch our products, for instance, get us to think process instead of result, result, result. Think of what is the process. She breaks it down, gives you an action plan, works with a team. So there are some transferable skills perhaps, but if it is your choice to completely switch industries, yes, you're right, it does come with a learning process. I'm more thinking about people who continue on. Let's say you become an advertising consultant, or you teach people about advertising, or you teach people about marketing, because that's kind of samey, teach people about branding and colors and style and whatever, which I know you can do, but you choose to go completely different into English teaching. But think about it. Are there some transferable skills that you can use in your new think about it this way. There is a reason why they hired you, or they gave you the opportunity to be an English teacher, an English Indonesian teacher, right? There is a reason. There is a spark about you that probably came from your previous experience. So yes, I would definitely dig that out, and we can talk more if we need to. Okay. But transferable skills, very important. And transferable passion. It's not just about transferable skills. Is you do it your way. Bryony does it her way, which is her passion is in process. Doesn't matter if she does engineering anymore or social media marketing. Process. Okay, it's a transferable principle. Good. So this is how it all ties in, right? So we're still on mastering you. Number one is mastering your beliefs. We did cover about the power meter test and the whole is your belief empowering you? And again, don't be critical on yourself. The last thing you need is another critical bit about, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I can't believe I'm so stupid for having these kinds of beliefs. That's not where we're going with this. It's beliefs have always been either limiting or useful. It's never been stupid or great, or it's never been good or bad. If you had been in a limiting belief mode all this time, it probably was very useful because your limbic brain wanted you to be safe. Don't take any risks. Don't go into entrepreneurship because, that might not be safe for you, but that your limbic brain is always fight or flight. It's always trying to keep you safe. Fear is actually a useful thing sometimes. Can you imagine if we don't have fear, we'll just jump off a cliff, right? So fear is useful. Being afraid of heights to a certain level is kind of useful. You will not get anywhere near the cliff edge, right? So just appreciate. So how I died down my monkey brain is basically to say, thank you for trying to keep me safe. But now I want to do something else. I want to do something new. So thank you, but you're on the back seat now. I'm driving the car. Okay. But this is where the empowering beliefs need to be affirmed in your life. Because imagine you want to do digital marketing. The consultant says you need to do videos, or you need to provide articles, or you need to whatever. You want to do a great sales meeting or a discovery call. If you don't feel calling it a sales meeting, it's a sales meeting. And then, but you don't feel confident in your pricing, and that's why you just undercharge, and that's why you find yourself working so hard just to earn £1,000. Okay, it's just, this is where it starts. Forget about all that marketing stuff. Value yourself. Okay, have proper beliefs about yourself and your business and the value of your time. Then we talked about the why, which all of you are so familiar with by now. And the why is not some aspiration. It is your movement, your cause, your mission. It is, why you do what you do. It's like, we had the Black Lives Matter, we had the safety on the streets. That's the movement. I'm not suggesting you go protest, especially if you're in Bristol. I think they've had enough problems, but it's more about your movement. And if you carry that flag with you, I am here to, I don't know, empower, people to have more confidence in themselves. That's your movement. Or I'm here to make sure, let's say you're a business coach and say, I'm here to make sure people have the right business acumen to grow their business, for instance. I'm all about, if you want to start a business, you've got to have not just passion, but knowledge. And that's my movement. People will start following you if that's interesting for them. Okay. Again, if you look at this, I know it's a bit small, but if you look at how the work that I've done with some people in my client list, basically is going through their background, or what you say is your life events or your memories. And it is about finding, I mean, they've given me a lot more than this. We usually work about 10 to 15 memories each time, because I always keep asking them more. Give me more, give me more. What happened here? What happened there? If I haven't seen a pattern, I don't decide the pattern for them. They'll come up with that with me. But if I don't see enough memories, I know that they can't find the pattern anyway. So I just keep pushing for more. And then eventually we come out 10 to 15. And then we'll start seeing patterns. So for me, for instance, I live with a low sense of self-worth and confidence. Parents, however, were role models of giving back. I had to find my own way to self-love and finding my own passion, combining psychology and business. So my whole theme in my life was about breaking down my limiting beliefs. It's okay to be me and use my strengths instead of being compared. I still do live, I consciously recognize all the shoulds in my life, and I consciously try to just move away from that. But it is not don't expect yourself, when you're trying to build confidence, don't expect yourself to just completely change. Okay, it's just a matter of bringing that up to your level of consciousness, from I don't know why I keep feeling this way to I know why I keep feeling this way, and I'm going to make a decision, that I'm going to feel another way. That's just bringing it up. It sometimes always keeps recurring. That's fine. That's normal, because it's been conditioned all this time. But it now becomes a conscious decision for you to, it's that thought again. It's that belief again coming up. Sweep it away. Okay. So once you recognize you sharpen your self-awareness, that's when you're winning. You're not successful when you've completely shifted. This whole process of being self-aware is where you become successful already. Okay. Great. Can you still see my slide? Yep. Okay, great. So these are the tools that you know very well already. Your Ikigai, we didn't get into this. We just didn't have time. But basically, this is where we need to, the next step of your beliefs and your why. And then the next step is really this whole bridge between the you section and the client section, because it's nice to have passion. I do what I love. I have my mission. The question is, does the world need it? What does the world need, by the way? It is market research, and if you don't know what the world needs, and one of you were questioning this, yeah, you need to ask. Yeah, absolutely. And if you're not sure if they're within your target market, just ask them anyway. The way I do it is, if I ask someone, what do you need basically in your business? Because I do a lot with business, and they answer with these things that they need, right? And I can only do like one or two of those. I know the rest. It's not that I have to be fulfilling the rest. I just know that's not mine. My portion is this one or two things. And I'm going to go find people who need more of these one or two things that I can do. But yes, it is about understanding your market. And the second thing is a lot of people need things, but they not necessarily want to pay for it. So what is it that they're willing to pay for? I mean, some of you went on a 5-day journey with me and then invested in a digital course. Some of you decided, no, I'm just ready for the free stuff right now. And yeah, okay. So yeah, you have proven to yourself that yes, you need it, but it doesn't mean you always want to pay for it or you're ready to pay for it. Why? Why not? What do I need to provide so that you are willing to pay for it? Okay. So I'm using my own business as an example for you, right? This is same for you. Some people want just things. However, there are certain groups of people, and I'll show you the profit pyramid later, that will never want to buy anything. And it's okay. I mean, you can't change them anyway, but you also don't want to focus too much on them. Do you know what I mean? Because you are not a passion project, you are a business. Agree? Right? You need to also find the people who will buy things from you, what you can be paid for, and then what you're good at, what you're willing to be good at, or what you're willing to delegate. Because not all things you should be good at, because you can't. Okay, so this is the Venn diagram that comes with the Ikigai exercise. There's a few pages, I've just captured two, but basically it's making the most of that. Now this is the profit pyramid, right? As I said, when you say, okay, well, what market do I want to serve? And this is kind of an intro to the client section because it starts with who do you want to serve, right? I need you to start thinking of your market as a 4-tier group. The biggest part of your market is not your market. They're not willing to invest. They're not ready to invest. They're resistant. They need it, but they don't know they need it. Okay. These are people, and this is my profit pyramid. This is not yours. Okay. But I just give you an example again. These are people, these are all self-employed people. These are the people that's in my target market because I help people, self-employed people, market themselves more easily and more confidently. Okay. But there are some people who are unsure if they can make money or not in their business. They have what we call a hobby business. Life is too good. They're not driven by money. They're not sure. Everything is hard, right? And they live in pain, like it. They like it. They get pity out of that. They get stories out of that. You know, this is what I call my self-doubt group, my unsure group. My little cheeky advice to them, if their key to success is just decide what you want and why you want it. Okay. Even if they said, you know, I do have people booking discovery calls at this level because it's free. And then, but I up my price. I tell them exactly what they need to hear. And I pray in my deepest self that they do not sign my contracts because I don't want them, because I will get so frustrated with people like this. I don't want to work with you for 6 private sessions. Please leave me alone. Okay. I'd rather you just keep following my videos. Okay. Because again, even if they, well, I guess if they are willing to pay and maybe they've just had an epiphany and they've changed, I would give them a try, but I always have the refund clause next to it. I'll just say, let's try it out. If we're not enjoying this process, I have the right to cancel. You know, I always say to people, I love the clause, we both can cancel the project. I can kick you out as a client. You can kick me out as your coach. Fair enough. But I need to have that right to kick you out as well, because some people are just hard. Okay, I'll just tell you right now. Okay. And then you have the DIY group. You know, they want to learn from like, you know, 5-day challenge, a webinar. They want to learn as a digital course, but they're not ready for a private program. And some of you only have bespoke private really expensive stuff, and that's not serving this market. And you always say, you always get, I'll think about it in your sales meetings. Why? Because you're not providing for them, the DIY group. Okay. And I get it. If you're just new, you don't want to focus on too many things. You just want to focus on bespoke, but that's right. But here's the money on the table. And then this obviously the yellow people, they're on a mission. They feel that their business have a high earning potential. This is not just a hobby. They are sure. They have done DIYs. They're sick of it, and they want to just get a sparring partner. So I have several versions of a one-to-one program. People who take digital courses, they're very welcome to have an additional power hour, an extra investment, but not as big as a private program. If people, just come off a 5-day challenge and they're not sure they need the digital course yet, they just want to buy a power hour just for that 1 or 2 hours of private session, hashing through, I can do that as well. Right. So any form of a one-to-one program. And of course, you've got the 6-session one-to-one program that most of my clients are in right now, but that's really taking them through the whole process with me. They get the digital course for free. Okay. Build this, be aware that your clients are into this pyramid. What's your pyramid? And what's the tippy top here? For me, these are people who have graduated and now they've become my referral. Some of you came because of a client that introduced you to me. So these are the referral group. And then I also refer them to people that I trust. Let's say they need a website. I'll refer them to a friend that does a website. This is my affiliate, top of the pyramid. Okay, so this is where I want you to think about. Maybe you're getting confused about, well, I'm not sure what my target market is. Some of you, as I know with some of my clients, you're getting confused because they need me, but they're not willing to pay for my bespoke program. Is that my private client, or is that my target market or not? Well, it is. It's just on a different rung of the pyramid. But because you haven't formulated that pyramid in your head, you feel confused. Okay, so not all, even if you've carved your niche, right? Let's say you're a business coach, you've carved your niche, you are women in business, you serve women in business with a revenue of 500,000 to 1 million with 5 staff in this industry. Ooh, your niche is so sharp. You still have the pyramid. You'll still have people in that niche who are ready to buy, who are not ready to buy, who just want DIY, etc. Okay, so that's the other side of your niche. And that's why, that's why it takes a lot of thinking process. And sometimes you just need a devil's advocate and say, what is, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't resonate, and that's one of my clients. She wants to do everything. She is very capable. But when she talks about her target market, I remember she wants to coach people to be happy and to make them fulfilled and happy and not stressed. And I'm like, whoa, that's like 3 different coaching programs. You're going to do it all in one? It's easy when you say, oh, I want people to feel this way after they work with me. But then maybe because I have some coaching background and I've been selling services, I just said, yeah, but there's 3 different programs. The other day she posted on Instagram, she was very happy after our coaching session because I just showed her, you can make money here, here, here. Don't try to make money in all this. The problem is when you lump it all together, you feel it's one product. I see it as 3 different products and 3 different ways to make money. And true enough, she was stuffing everything in one program, and that only became one stream of income, when actually if she just separates it, she can make the same money 3 times, because people are not ready to get the program stuffed down their throats anyway. It's too much. Okay. And it just opens up, when you list it out, your ikigai like that, it opens up a lot of opportunities. Okay. So let's talk about empathizing your clients. We'll talk about the brand story, the journey, the transformation, all in one little cartoon that I like to share. Your brand story, which we started on because we started on the who, but what was interesting is if you continue on, when you make your brand story, it is not about you. The hero of the brand story are your clients. Okay, so it's a story about, it's a movie, right? Oh, here's a hero, your client, that wants to go somewhere. And in the middle, they face the villain, this ugly villain that's trying to stop them. It could be their biggest problem. So let's say I'm a business owner and I want to have a goal that means, I have a social media presence, I have digital marketing set up, but the big villain that I face is my lack of tech expertise. Okay. And this is huge and ugly and everything. And so I try to run away, and I meet a guide, and I meet a guide that helps me. And this is a social media expert or a content specialist or whatever it is. Okay. It is a guide who is there to help me as the hero of this story. And that guide has a plan. Okay, when we work together, first we're going to have a strategy session, then we're going to review your Google Analytics, then we're going to do this, then we're going to do that. Then I'm making this up because I really have no idea how this works. Okay, but basically, this is a plan. There's an 8-step process to making sure you've got social media presence. Okay, and they've got a bunch of promises. So the story brand also has a part where you make promises, like some of you who have already worked with me, that my proposals have 8 promises. Every one of my private program has a money back guarantee. No questions asked. You keep the tools. If you don't find any value, I'll give you all your money back. It's something I can promise because I'm confident in the value I provide. But you have your own promises, and it's not necessarily money back guarantee if that's not comfortable for you. It's not necessarily, the social media expert isn't going to guarantee you 100 leads. Nobody does that, right? But it could be a guarantee that I will be integrous, guarantee that it'll be confidential, guarantee that it's a process guarantee. Okay. Now this guide has a plan and a promise so that you avoid failure and reach success. So this is the complete story brand exercise that is we didn't get a chance to do, but when you do the digital course, basically that's the story brand exercise. For me, as a private course, I spend 2 hours doing this with privately with a client. But before that, I make them, because a digital course is free for private clients, I make them watch certain videos, and then they get in there. There's the actual workbook is 49 pages. So there's a few pages where they go through the questions. And then when we get into the brand story, what I do is tweak it with them, fine tune it, or affirm it if they've done it well. Definitely affirm it. Okay. If you can imagine, if you don't know who your hero is, or if your hero is vague, let's say I'm a business coach and my target market are business owners, and that's how vague it is. No size, no industry, no particular problem. Then when I get to what's the villain, there's like 21 different villains. Well, which one are we solving? What problem are we solving here? So when your hero, your niche is too vague, it's hard for you to have the story brand. Several of my clients have at least more than one niche. Okay, like this well-being coach that I'm working with, she has a niche which is the corporation, to write a strategy for the corporation. She also has another niche which is coaching the people to implement that strategy, coaching leaders. I say we're going to do 2 story brands in the session. She's interested in the coaching bit, so we're going to talk about the executive that needs to be coached. That's the hero. But you need to make another story brand. And what she does is she emails me the story brands for the other people, because we just don't have enough time to do it all. Okay. So one of you, I think, Eman, you're not muted, so we can hear the background noise. If you could please mute yourself, that'd be great. Thank you. Yeah, so about 12 pages. Okay, I've got 12 pages on the U section just on the story brand. Now, when you make, when we're a self-employed professional, I did mention this in the 5-day challenge, your biggest asset is time, right? We agree that. And I did ask a question, who's paying you for your sales meetings? Remember? Okay. You give 30 minutes away, 20 minutes away. If you don't close the client or move them on to a different program, you basically wasted your time, which is fine. I'm not saying you have to be paid for every minute of your time. We're not going to that pushy side. Okay. I'm just saying, making you aware that time is important, but you can control that. Again, if you only have bespoke products, people who are not ready for that will always turn away. So that's why you need to understand this commitment ladder. Every prospective client comes to you with a different level of commitment. And it's usually something around finance, time, emotional commitment, or trust, okay, trust in you as a provider. So the questions, how committed are they? What is their level of commitment? And it could be, they're maybe thinking about, can I afford this? Whatever, somebody is, the service provider is offering, can I afford it? Will I have time for it? Am I ready to implement it at this time? Or what's the point of investing in something if you're not going to have time or make time to implement it? I mean, you guys are great, take you on a 5-day challenge. You've been spending sleepless nights for 5 days trying to figure out your why. That means you're committed, right? You're committed to implement it. You have made time for it. So that's your commitment level. Some people come to you and say, let's say you sell therapy or something. And am I confident that it'll work? That's an honest question that they ask you, because some of you, like Patricia, she sells a service where she does it for you. Okay. Am I confident that it'll work? Well, the question is, am I confident that Patricia knows how to research? And let's say the answer is yes, then I'm confident it'll work. But some of you, many of you are selling self-development services, fitness, therapy, healing, business coaching, where your clients actually have to do the work. You're just guiding them through it. And if they're not at the level of confidence that I can make it work, or I'm ready to implement it, or I'm not sure this 6-step process works, I'm not sure the framework is like this, right? Then they're not ready to commit financially, possibly, with you. Okay. Or like for me, I love fitness, and I know George is on the line, he's going to kick my ass on this. I love fitness and everything, but I'm not ready to commit to like a weekly HIIT class because I'm intimidated. I'm intimidated. I got to look so amazing to do that. I've got all my limiting beliefs about that. Now, if a fitness coach can make it a more less intimidating, sometimes it's like this. We want to make our services look amazing and professional. And in the process, we intimidated everyone. We don't know how to explain it in a simple way. We make it super complicated. We make it that you have to be Wonder Woman to be part of it, and then people sometimes don't buy because they feel like, I'm not good enough to work with her. I'm not good enough to be part of his group. Why do I know that? I've done it. I have done it. I have made my business coaching program so uber professional that people are saying, and I've profiled myself as such an amazing coach to work with. They'll say, I'm not ready. I don't think I'm worthy to be part of this cohort. And I'm like, no. I had a Homer Simpson moment. I made it too hard. Timing is also the thing. Some people are not ready to because of time. They're focusing on other things, caring for people, homeschooling, blah, 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 or it could be because your program sucks up so much time. I remember when I was training coaches in Vietnam, they just finished, they just opened a business coaching firm there. So I was one of the people who trained. Japan was also like that because they love making things so complicated, right? And then it just means like, how much time do I have to spend outside the coaching hours to implement all this? Oh, at least 8-10 hours and blah, blah. And I said, oh, forget this. This is too much. Again, maybe you're making it so difficult and other things. So that's why when you understand the commitment ladder, when it comes time, there's an exercise about how to make a product ladder, right? It is about making it easy for people to say yes. Okay, you've got to be honest. I mean, if it does take time, you've got to be honest, it takes time. but sometimes how you're saying it, and this is why, I'll tell you if it doesn't make sense or if it's too hard. I'll speak on behalf of your clients. It's sometimes what you're offering is just so complicated. I'm working with an energy coach right now. An energy coach, right? A lot of woo-woo explanations there. And she drives people away after a sales meeting because it's so scary how she explains what's going to happen, you know? And so some of the feedback that I've given her, like, okay, when I hear you explain this, I just want to run away. I I mean, the next thing she's telling me is that you're gonna put a crystal on my head and I have to wear it for a week. I don't get it. But I have nothing against people who work with crystals. I have nothing against people who work with energy, but stop making it. You already know you're woo woo, okay? But and people who may not have had experience with that, they want to try it. So there's nothing wrong with what you're selling. It's just you're spitting out methodologies and theories and terms that are making people confused. Can we just stick with what problem you solve? Pain and pleasure instead of theories. Okay. So some of these things you need to be sensitive about. And this is where, if you wanted to go deep into how to make the product ladder, we started on it on the 5-day challenge, but there's a few things you need to think about when you want to go deep. And then we talk about marketing. People hardly ever ask, who are you? Because they already know your name. In a networking group, you have your name tag. They ask, what do you do? But many of us are so fussed about titles. What do we call ourselves? Business coach, business advisor, accelerator coach, therapist, psychologist, whatever. Okay. Well, what about, I don't know what you're going to call yourself. Okay. I'm not fussed about that because they never ask you that anyway. And these days, LinkedIn profiles are always more descriptive than just a title. What about just getting clear on what you do? And for that, we create a one-liner. And these, again, the same people that I gave an example in the earlier slide, here they are again. Okay, a health coaching company. Now, a one-liner is attached to your product, to your company. Your why statement is attached to you. So when your target market, let's say you have 2 target markets, let's say that wellness coach, she's not in here, but she has writing wellness strategies for corporates. That deserves its own one-liner. Then coaching leaders to implement wellness in their lives. That deserves its own one-liner. So how I do it with her, she invests in a private program. We do always the coaching bit. She sends me the consulting bit over email, and I just give her feedback. And sometimes we chat about it in the session, but she does that. So we cover both. But yeah, the one-liner is for her, for a health coach, for instance, a health coaching company. Many women struggle with self-worth and self-acceptance. I have an approach that reconnects them with the sense of purpose and joy so that they can live their best life their way. A problem, a plan, and a happy ending. Okay. Your one-liner does not start with, I do this, this, this. That's not a one-liner. A one-liner starts with the problem, the plan, and then the happy ending. Why start with a problem? Because if you are saying this one-liner to the right audience, this is how you're going to get engagement. When you call them out, many self-employed service professionals struggle to explain what they do. All the self-employed service professionals in that networking room will say, hey, that's me, right? She's talking about me. But when I say, hi, I'm Cynthia, I do this, 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 oh, that's her. She's talking about her. Okay. So one of my clients, she is like an emotional connectedness coach or something. She works with horses and all these kinds of things. I've known her for a while. We've been in the same networking group for about a year. And then she finally became a client. And it was hilarious because in the discovery call, she says, every time you did your one-liner intro, I always thought you weren't speaking to anyone in the room but me. Now, the great thing about her is she comes off as a lady who knows everything that needs to be known. She is so independent. She's so successful, blah, blah, blah. And I said, every time I do my intro, I think I'm talking to everyone else except you, because you look like you got it all together. She says, no, your one-liner resonated with me, and I wanted to make a one-liner like that as well. And I said, okay, but that's step number 7. One-liners are step number 7. Let's go to you, the clients. This is where we need to go through 6 steps first before we get to the 7th step, which is the one-liner. And after you've done your story brand, your one-liner is a 15-minute job. It's not that hard. But if you are struggling creating a one-liner for yourself, it's probably because you haven't done all the rest of it deeply. Okay. Now let's talk about marketing strategies. We talked about one-liner. The second thing is marketing strategies. It's okay to have a strategy that you are comfortable with. So this is what I call my marketing spectrum. Okay. And one of you said, I'm doing a lot of strategies at this moment, but they're not getting results. I'm posting a lot, but I'm not getting results. Lisa, I think that was you. That's why I said, make sure it's balanced. So let me explain this. On the top of the list are strategies that are great for reputation building. They're great for long-term branding, but don't expect much in terms of, clients. At the bottom, these are strategies that what I call more of a direct sale approach. And I'm sorry if you're not comfortable with the word sale. Effectively, you are selling. So I'm just saying, let's call an egg, right? Be comfortable with it. These ones have a 50 to 70% conversion rate as you move further down. Networking, speaking, workshops, strategic alliances, referrals. Leads that come to you because of that have a higher conversion rate than leads that follow, engage, like you, and all these other things. Not to say the ones up top is not important. That's what we call reputation building. Remember, we have to be the go-to person. But correct me if I'm wrong, there's a social media expert here. It's less than 3% conversion rate, sometimes less than 1. It's 0.0 whatever percent rate. So that's why, you can post all you want, but every time you post, only 1% of your followers actually see that, and they see that only for like 2 seconds, and then it's gone. So it's something you need to do regularly. It's something that you need to do with quality, but it is reputation building. Even if you put a call to action, you still have to wait for that conversion rate because they are getting so many other posts, not just yours. So social media posts, even if you do quality videos and spend hours and hours creating that post, it's just a post, right? It's almost better to do it efficiently. Okay. But then when we talk about things like person-to-person networking, even if we are on Zoom, we can't physically see and touch each other, handshake or whatever, but we connect. I know your name, we talk, we chat, right? Let's say you get invited to speak in front of somebody's group or a group of your target market audience. Then they get to see you even on Zoom, but then they get to feel your expertise. That's why you should also do workshops, initiate your own workshops. That's where you teach. In the service business, teaching and educating is the best way to market yourself. That's how you became a go-to person. Strategic alliances. This is where a partner, let's say an accountant, works with a bank for a cross referral. A website designer works possibly with someone like me for cross referrals, or a social media expert. Referrals from your own clients because they've worked with you. Some of you are here, no questions asked. Somebody's told you, I've worked with Cynthia, you should go and join her webinar, blah, blah, blah. It's more than 70% conversion rate sometimes. And some of you know that because you have referral-based businesses. You know how easy it is. But yet you're focusing on social media posts and you haven't even optimized your referral-based strategies. Why? Because everybody's doing Facebook groups and social media? No, you don't have to. Optimize this. Pick the easy picking fruits. Then balance that with reputation building. 80-20 rule, 80% here, 20% there. Okay, but some of you are doing 90% here, 0 to 10% here because everybody's doing it. That's not necessary. And that's like throwing salt in the ocean. This is actually getting a line, getting a hook, and getting a big fat worm for your bait. And there it is. And I hate to use a fishing analogy because I'm not saying that your clients are like fish that, other things, but it is not the way to, all this is nice, but that's not the only way it's not the strategies you should bank on, in my opinion. Of course, social media ads, that's a higher conversion rate than posts. But again, I think I mentioned this in the group. How much budget do you have? Because if you really want to make a big impact, you need a big budget. Okay. And again, if you just throw it out there and you're not clear who your niche is, you're spending a lot more money because then they're throwing out your ad to lots of different people and maybe only a percentage is really your target market. Okay. So you need to do the work on the client section as well. Okay. So you're allowed to use your strengths. And these are just some of the handouts that will come. It's a strength-based marketing. But again, a lot of this social media posts and is for people to know you and possibly like you. But the real conversion happens when they trust you. So you need to also balance the strategy with a more personal touch and a more direct call to action strategy. And then the final thing, obviously, in the marketing section is how to make an action plan. We've learned all these things. What's the thing that you need to do for the next 3 months? And so that's the transition from learning and doing, right? Don't wait until you become confident and perfect before you do it, because the confidence comes with the action, because we'll tweak it. So when we make a business improvement plan, what's important to understand is that everything you need to do in your life still happens, despite all the new things you want to do for your business. So it's about being realistic. Sometimes when you're experiencing imposter syndrome, self-doubt, whatever, it's also because your expectations of your goals is too high for what you can achieve at this moment. Let's say we're no longer homeschooling, but let's say you were homeschooling. I've got someone who lives on my street. She's a high-power businesswoman. She's losing herself because now she is a mom for like a long time, and she's not used to that. She's used to kids go to school, I go to work, but with the changes in lifestyle, her business goals didn't change. Her strategies didn't change. So she lost herself. She felt so bad about herself for not achieving, because she's an achiever. But it's not because she's a failure. It's because the whirlwind just got bigger over the last 1 year. Now, I'm not saying go shrink your goals. I'm just saying make it realistic, or restructure your day or something like that, because you've got to understand that whirlwind doesn't go away. Or if you know how to go away or how to make it go away, then do it. But there is that to consider. The new actions that you need to improve your business with always comes in 2 forms. And this is why in the action plan section of the workbook, you will see 2 different kinds of lists that you need to think about. For your business to be better, you might need to do some one-time actions. So let's say fix my website, because now I've got a better story brand. I want to put that into my website. That's a one-time thing. You shouldn't be changing your website every 3 months. Okay. You shouldn't be changing it every 3 days. Okay. You do it once, that's there. And maybe you'll shift it again in a year or whatever it is to update. Some of you want to create a better referral strategy. Maybe the one-time act that you need to do is sort out your CRM system, to subscribe to a customer relationship management software, to sort out your database. Ooh, that's really painful, but yeah, you got to do it anyway. That's a one-time thing, setting up the system so that you know who are the clients, who came from where, how many referrals have I gotten from who. Okay, maybe that's a one-time admin thing. But many people try to improve their business only focusing on one-time activities. Well, I fixed my website. I enrolled in a CRM, but why am I not getting clients? Well, because there's the routine activities that you also need to do. Let's say, how many networking events should you do? Do you have a calendar for your monthly workshops till the end of the year? Doing monthly workshops every month, doing lives every week, doing social media posts, in as much as, I said that's a reputation building, but that's important, having one-to-one coffees with at least 3 people that you've met in a networking group. That's a routine activity that doesn't stop. Okay. So business performance improvement always has these 2 components, routine and one-time activities. That's why in the handout, I don't have it here, but there's a total of 15 pages when it comes into the marketing section. And when it comes to the action plan section, there's definitely a few pages about how to create goals, how to think about what's the one-time activity, what's the regular activity, and then here, making it into a calendar. It's nice to have a to-do list, but you know this. If you don't calendarize it, it doesn't get done. And well, it'll get done at 9:00 at night. Okay, when everybody's trying to have a life and you're still on your laptop. Okay, but that's why, because you don't calendarize it. People think of calendar as a way to put in their meetings and their appointments. Well, I'd like you to start thinking of your thinking time, your strategy time, your sorting out your database time is your appointment with yourself. And that needs to be respected as well. The great thing about putting marketing plans or business improvement plans in the calendar is that you become a lot more realistic. I've got a friend that we grew up together, so I've known her for over 40 years. And she was like, oh, I'm so overwhelmed. And then so I get on a Zoom call with her. She's in Southern California. And then she's, I've got 12 businesses. And like, really? Right? 12. And then none of it is working. None of it is making decent money, but she just wants to focus. And sometimes she focuses here, sometimes she's focused there, and blah, 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 because she feels, because she is like this, she can do it all. Right? I said, okay. So I'm listening to her for 1.5 hours, listing out her 12 businesses and finding out what that's all about. And then I said, I'd like you to do a time study. How long does it actually, one of her businesses is making YouTube videos, that YouTube animation videos, so that people would pay ads for and everything. How long does it take you to actually do this business? If that was the money-making one, how much does it actually take you to do that? Fast forward a few months, haven't heard from her in a while. So I said, hey, let's chat. What are you doing? I see you're quite busy on Facebook. It's like, yeah, I'm just focusing on that one YouTube animation video making. It takes me 60 hours to make one video. I have no idea how I thought I could do 12 businesses at once. So right now, she's only focusing on that. She's doing better. And she's actually hired someone to do the nitty-gritty stuff that originally she was doing. Okay. So when she made it into a calendar, she realized the time it takes just to implement one idea is a lot. Okay. So that's really it, if you've got there's a few things that you can do. I mean, you've gone through the 5-day challenge and everything. If you feel like, you know what, I don't think I want to do this by myself. Okay. If you feel you need a private program, feel free to book a discovery call. Okay. We'll talk about how best to suit that private program for you. The standard is 6 sessions, 1,200 plus VAT in pound sterling. That's standard. Some people just need a different thing. Some people just need a couple of hours, whatever. We can always get to the root cause. This is a Brave Discovery call. All I do here is get to the root cause of your challenges and offer you the next steps. Okay. For some of you, you said, all right, you know what? I'm going to take advantage of the special deal, 21st of April. The free 1-hour power hour thing is over because that's, I have to respect the people who have taken action before Sunday. So this is but you do still get this special price of $275 until the 21st of April if you get on the digital course membership. And it is a lifetime membership. Okay. If you do get into the private course, it includes the digital course for free because that is a learning tool that speeds up the process. People ask certain things. If you go into a private program, what's the interim between the session 1 and session 2, etc.? It's up to you. Thanks to the digital marketing course, that comes included with the private program, people have been doing very well going through the course and preparing themselves better for the sessions. So the sessions are a lot sharper. Of course, typically it's about 1 to 2 weeks in between. I try to have you back within 2 weeks because if you stay away for too long and try to do everything yourself, then you've usually made some mistakes and it's too hard to, it takes a longer time for you to pull it back. The digital course, people have said that it's very clear. The handout's very good. So I'm confident that if you are one of those people who just at this moment are only ready to do it yourself, this is very good. Anyway, you have the power hours that you can purchase on an as needed basis.